goes live in 2 minutes. Lynn Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
And a good morning to you all. Another beautiful morning in Pittsburgh. We could use a little rain, though. Celine has asked for a lighter show, and I have already disabused her of any hopes in that direction. Much to my dismay as well, because I could use a lighter show. If anybody has anything lighter, funny, charming, life-affirming, anything like that to share, we're all ears. We really are. And we do know that in the course of, we have to bear in mind, in the course of most people's lives right now, well, I don't know about most, I don't know, things are going along okay. Joy is evident in many lives right now. But it is, so it is true. The news is not about things like that. The news is always about things that seemingly are going wrong. And since that's supposedly what we're trafficking in here, we're really in some trouble. I'm not going to apologize for the strong feelings that yesterday's show kicked off, and some of you were very angry. But I stated my opinion, and maybe I did it a little indecorously, I don't know. But I do stick with what I said. The thing about Michael Vick, I stand by. The thing about, what was the other thing everybody got mad at me about? The rescue. The thing about not liking the term rescue dog for what in my day was just, yeah, we got him from the pound, is my prickliness with language. And anyone who's listened to me for a long time know I get very prickly about language. And I think words get abused a lot. And, I might belong for the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, but I also belong to the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Words. Hello.
Hello, Lynn.
Yes.
I got two things I want to bring up.
Okay.
One is about a dog.
Okay.
I'll take a dog over a human being any day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Well, I
think
understand
a
that.
dog's loyal. And I can see where you stand. I get sick of that rescue crap, too. And the second thing I want to talk real quick is what's wrong with a wall at the border? Think about it now.
Mm-hmm.
For one, it's infrastructure. For two, we get all American people to build it. We use American materials as much as we can. It's a jobs program.
Well, you know what? I have to tell you, if somebody wants to build a wall at the border, I don't care.
Yeah,
I mean,
think it's a good idea.
walls at
we wouldn't
borders.
have 11 million illegals in this country because we could control the population of them coming in.
Well,
it makes sense. It's good sense.
A wall doesn't necessarily stop people because you do have to have sentries on that wall because people scale walls.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
but you make it high enough that they can.
I don't know. I
think you can.
It's a long, that'd be a hell of a public works project, but
right.
Heck, if, as you say, if it gives people a job to do, it's fine with me. I don't know that it really gets to the core of the problem, but if people want to build a wall, I mean, the Chinese built a wall. How long ago was that?
Right.
And that was a bigger public works project than anything we're thinking of here. But walls have been built, and the Israelis built a wall, and they're excoriated for it. But that wall has helped protect Israelis. I don't know what to tell you. The Berlin Wall was a symbol of not a positive symbol. Walls can.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know about walls because, as I say, the Israelis. Huh?
You could probably have terrorists that come in through the borders.
Well, right.
You have drug smuggling.
Let me tell you.
Could curb some of it. I'm not going to say it's going to wipe it
I like
out.
the idea as just a public works project, although I think there's a lot more things we should be doing if we want to do public
works. Put that
works.
in a highway bill.
Right.
I'm serious.
All right, I'm not gonna argue.
We can pay for all this
I don't care.
Is we tax the entertainment system. If you're making $3 or $4 million on a movie that you was an actor, you should pay at least 40% on taxes. Start taxing the people that have the money.
I don't have a problem.
You can be an entertainer. You can be an actor, a singer, whatever you want to be, but you're going to get taxed.
I don't have a problem.
The more you make, the more they take, and that's the way it should be.
Okay.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You do that.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay.
Bye.
Go pet a dog. I don't know. I think my mantra is going to be, I don't know. A little humility here, huh? But no, the thing about the rescue thing, I mean, I can back away from that. That's really a semantic thing that I got off on. But it does annoy me because it seems to elevate the act of acquiring a companion and then conferring heroic status on you for doing it. Anyone who rescues is that bespeaks heroism. But I'll let it go, okay? I just never use the term myself. But I'll try to stop reacting so strongly to people who do. It's not a big deal. What the caller said about dogs is certainly a lot of people would agree with, and I just want to point out that our love of dogs can unhinge us. I mean, it is emotion that overtakes everything. And studies have shown that human beings are more empathetic with a dog or other animals than to humans, than to fellow humans. And I don't pretend to understand that exactly, but I'll give the first caller. Our caller said it. He'd take a dog over a human, hands down, anytime. I know my brother feels the same. And, I mean, he means it. And I'll tell you, I completely understand it. And here's another reason why. Dogs are easier to love than human beings. Yes, dogs give us unconditional love, but they don't give us the kind of hassles that a human does. The hassles they give us are we learn to live with. But it's true. They don't talk back. They don't say nasty things to us. They don't, hurt our feelings. They don't, whatever. Humans are harder. It's more complicated. To be in a relationship with a fellow human, it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to be in a relationship with a dog. The dog's going to carry much of that burden because they just love to be loved. They want nothing more than to please that alpha, you. And the worst human beings in the world love dogs. Would you know that? Yeah, it's easy. So I was thinking about all this stuff today, and I happened to, I don't know, because I was feeling courageous, I took a look at the Wall Street Journal opinion page, and there is a piece by Karl Rove. And it's a eulogy for his dog. So Karl Rove, who we like to disparage in every way and subject to every kind of calumny, Calumny. What does that mean? You see, sometimes my love of words gets me all mixed up because I have them in my head, but I don't even know how to use them. What is that word? Anyway, we'll disparage that guy. What's calumny? Evil?
The making of false and defamatory statements in order to damage someone's reputation.
Ha! I used it correctly then.
Slander.
Okay, you say that the use of...
False and defamatory statements.
The use of false and or defamatory statements to ruin someone's reputation. Yeah, I think we subject him to calumny. And we don't like him. We have a caller. Hang on. Hello?
Hey, Lynn.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I want to tell you that yesterday your show was great.
Oh, thank you.
You have balls. You may not know that, but you're speaking up. I'm kind of surprised yesterday you said the things you said. It takes courage because a lot of people are crazy. I mean, like you said, you can control an animal. I mean, I love the animals too. I love my birds. They don't speak back to me. I feed them. They're wild and they're free. Feed birds. Don't worry about it sickens me that people get so obsessed with these animals.
Well, I understand. I think it comes from a pretty good place.
I understand that.
Our love
all
of
my
animals.
kids have dogs. Hitler loved dogs. Hitler was a vegetarian.
That's true. I cannot walk past
a dog.
Stop
it. I mean, with these animals, these dogs.
No, you're right. Hitler loved dogs. Hitler wouldn't eat an animal.
No, so don't.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to puff themselves up and think they're so great because they love animals. Well, that's good. That's nice. Humans are much more complex. Like you said, they talk back to you. They're not controlled. Everybody likes to control things, and well, my animal doesn't talk back to me. Of course not. You'd smack it. But a human being, a woman, that somebody talks back to you, nobody wants to speak up against authority. That's why people are getting mad at you because you spoke up against it, because you spoke up against what they know to be correct.
Well, I thank you for your passionate defense of me. I take issue with the fact that it took courage for me to say. I just said what was on my mind. I think a lot of people agree with me on Michael Vick, and the rescue thing is just my little quirk.
He went to jail for 2 years.
I know.
For dog fighting. He didn't rape anybody. He didn't punch his girlfriend out. He didn't commit murder like some of the football players have done. I mean, these things are egregious against humans. Now, I'm not for dog fighting either, and that's terrible what he did, but he went to jail for 2 years. He lost $135 million because of this. And after that, he come out and repented. What more can you want from the guy?
There's nothing he can do. I mean, he's done what he can do.
He's changed his ways.
Right.
I mean, to me, that's the most noble thing to do in life. To me, that anybody can, if they're overcoming their problems or sins in life and change That's the highest noble value that you can achieve.
I agree. That's what we demand of people. You know, that's supposedly what incarceration at its best does.
Exactly.
It rehabilitates.
If they overcome their drug addiction, their alcohol addiction, their whatever their addiction may be, and they can pursue it. That's noble. Anybody can say, "Well, I don't like cigarettes, so I never smoked. So therefore, people that do smoke are jagoffs." Well, that's easy for you to say because you never had that addiction. Well, the people are so. I can't stand self-righteousness that they think that I'm so great because I don't have that particular problem. You know, if you have that problem, well, damn you. You know, you're an alcoholic. You're whatever your situation may be, but I don't have that. I don't like alcohol. Whatever the situation is, I don't like cigarettes or alcohol. But somebody else does. Oh my, they are the worst. They abuse dogs. Well. Okay, I understand that, but there's much worse sins than abusing dogs.
All right.
Please.
Thank you. Before you get yourself all totally...
My blood pressure up.
Yes.
I'll take my blood pressure pills here, but...
Thank you.
I don't like self-righteousness.
All right,
that's the bottom line. And anybody's get on their high horse to look down on other people because of their sins, especially if they've repented and changed their ways. And it seems to me that Mr. Vick has done so.
Okay, period.
Period, end of statement.
Put a fork in it. Goodbye. Thank you. So anyway, what was I saying? So Karl Rove loves dogs. And, you know, I have written eulogies when I've lost an animal that was part of my family. And they touch our hearts. And this would not be a Karl Rove you would recognize. But see, even Karl Rove, although the caller trumped me with Hitler. We have a call? No? Okay. And Karl Rove's dog was named Nan, and he ends it by quoting Mark Twain, who, one of my favorites, who talked about, getting into heaven. And he said, you know, if getting into heaven went by merit, you would stay out of it and your dog would go in. Hello, caller.
Yeah, another crazy guy from your regular callers.
Okay.
I did a thought experiment about, dogs.
Okay. Because you love them, I love them, you love them.
Yeah. But I said, let me think. There's a human being. He's the, Grand Wizard from the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, okay. Someone's in need of rescue, huh?
Yeah. And then there's my dog. They're both drowning in a lake. Who do I pull out?
No question. You go for the dog.
No, I go for the Grand Wizard.
I
go for the Grand Wizard.
No, are you kidding me?
Yes, because I might not, like I've said this many times, I see humans as humans. That's what they are. And I might disagree with his ideology, his thoughts. But he's a human being. He's got to come out of that water. Now, I don't know whether to change him, give him better ideas. I don't know what the consequences are. My dogs have no ideas. That's why I think, like other people said, your dog has no idea. You don't have to argue with your dog. It's easy. The difficult thing to do was do you save the human being? The human being comes out. Period.
Wow. Well, I have to tell you, I don't think I could do that.
Like I always tell, but I don't think people when I say this kind of stuff, that if I'm arguing with you about your religion, your thoughts, I'm not arguing with you, the human being. It's my ideas arguing with your ideas.
Right. That's what people lose sight of. That's so true.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't hate the Christian. I hate the Christian idea. Like they say, I don't hate the sinner. Hate the sin, not the sinner. It's the same thing. And I don't think people really bring that in to their, psyche or something. Yeah, it's like I don't have nothing personal against you. Just that I just think your ideas are wrong, and you can see the passion people, when they I didn't get to read any of your emails, where they have about your idea about the word rescue.
Yeah, Yeah.
It's an idea.
I know. I understand, though, because they felt denigrated, I think, by it. And also, I just got an email here from Chuck who says that he follows a boxer rescue organization on Facebook, and he says their efforts are indeed at times heroic. They often put themselves in harm's way, rescuing dogs from puppy mills and from nasty owners, and it doesn't end there. They have to find foster homes, pay for vet bills, blah, blah, blah. And I just want to say I don't have a problem with those people calling themselves rescue organizations.
They're rescuers.
Yeah, they do. They are rescuing dogs. My problem is calling me, who goes to get my animal at the pound, a rescuer.
That's where both of my dogs came from. The Humane
I've
Society.
always said I've never gotten a dog from any other source. Oh, you got one of your dogs from me.
Yeah, the best dog I ever had.
And I'd rescued him.
I might have rescued him from you.
Yeah, yes, you did. You rescued him from me.
But the two dogs I have now, excuse me, I'm coughing. The two dogs I have now, I don't think I rescued them. I adopted them. I don't even like that word.
That's right.
I got them.
You took them in.
I got them from the Humane Society.
Yeah, you took them in. I mean, here again, this is just my language thing. I just think rescue is on a higher level than me going to get a dog or a cat at the pound. And I will say that people who really do spend their lives running around gathering dogs from situations where they are truly at risk, that is a rescuer.
Yeah.
But I am not by virtue of having gone to the pound.
Yeah. And I was on the board of a
yes,
dog
you were.
rescue. And the reason one of the main reasons why I left is because of the too much passion. You know what I mean? Small words and stuff like that can send, the super passionate over the edge.
I know. That's true. That's true.
And what I'd be saying, what I consider to be the edge. There's some words for you.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's your perception of where the edge is. Exactly.
And even those little distinguishing things, when I say things like that, still people don't hear them.
No.
Well, you said no. I said that.
No, because emotion is so powerful, and our love, our fierceness that we feel toward these animals in our lives, it overwhelms all reason. And I know that. I've been there myself. I think I'm just trying to. Oh God, Chuck, who wrote this email, also comes to the absolutely right conclusion. I just saw the last sentence. He says, those of us who receive the rescued dogs from these organizations maybe deserve some praise, but the adopter is not the rescuer.
There you go.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah. And you know me, I've been trying to get rid of my emotions for, all my life. And I think I'm getting darn close to it.
Well, if you want to turn into Spock, you go right ahead.
I would say I'm like Bizarro Spock. I'm the one with the goatee.
Okay. Always good to talk to you, and I hope if I'm ever drowning somewhere, you're the guy who wanders by.
That's right. As long as, now, do I save Lynn Cullen or the...
dog?
Or the Ku Klux Klan member?
You save me.
Yeah, you come out. That's right.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Unless the Ku Klux Klan member is 6.
Are you kidding?
You drown. You've lived a long life. You've accomplished all this. This little Ku Klux Klan member who's been indoctrinated into his thought process is saved.
All right. I'll make an effort not to hang around.
Don't hang around
6-year-old KKK members near a lake. Always great to talk to you, Clarence.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, dear. Denise writes, regarding our preference for easy, low-maintenance relationships with dogs over humans, imagine when robots are readily available. What will the dogs do? Well, but a robot ain't cuddly. I think we'll still prefer dogs over robots, but you think they'll be displaced? I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. That I don't want to think about. But if you read this Karl Rove's thing about his dog Nan, who died Saturday, you're moved because you understand the love. You absolutely understand the love he felt for this wonderful animal. I'll read you one paragraph. He talks about her being a farm dog. She was a border collie, and she really did know how to work as a border collie. And so he'd take her out to farms where she was able to do that. But then he says, but when things were different in town, the farm dog became a city slicker, sleeping in one of her two comfy beds when she wasn't trying to carve out part of ours. She would remove herself to the one in the big closet when she didn't fancy the late-night movie we were watching, but she preferred the one in the bedroom, under her portrait by a certain former president. So W must have done a portrait of Nan. Okay. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
I'd like to say this about that. Actually, Art Bell, who I'm not sure if you're familiar with.
Oh, good God.
Is back on the air. No, Art. Listen, okay, all right. No, I won't even go into that. But anyway, he had a world-renowned artificial intelligence developer on last night, and this is the guy who founded, or who is the lead theorist that developed his own theory called AIXI, which is apparently some. Anyway, this guy is world-renowned and everything, and he was on last night, and he said, yeah, at the time AI. Actually, he calls it extraordinary intelligence is developed, meaning machines can interact with us.
Yes.
We will most definitely favor machines over other human beings, and probably over dogs also. So basically, we will latch onto them, and just as we do with our cell phones and you see people cradling their cell phones.
Yeah. Well,
they will be much more interactive, and therefore we will go to them like.
They'll know how. You know what? They'll know how to play us.
Well, that's probably true also,
Yeah.
because that was the other thing. He talked about this thing called the digital Gaia, which is not necessarily developing a super artificial intelligence that doing it on purpose, but just having so many devices that have so much gathered knowledge that at some point they cross a threshold and they become self-aware and are smarter than humans. It's kind of this. It was super interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. The fact is, none of us know where exactly we're heading, but we are heading someplace we can't imagine.
Well, that was the most amazing thing about this guy was that Art Bell was prying and trying to get him to make these grandiose statements, and he basically kept just saying, "Hey, listen, I don't know. None of us know."
Right.
And there's the Asimov's robotic laws where robots will not be allowed to do this, and this. That's all out the window.
I absolutely agree with what you're saying. Anyone who listens to me knows I have little doubt the robots will end up ruling. I have no doubt.
I mean, to some extent, technology already does.
Right. And so people who have trouble understanding what I'm saying are imagining like robots. But as you say, we're already slaves. We're slaves to our phones. We're slaves to our computers. We're slaves.
And it's not even self-aware yet.
No. And they will become self-aware. And that is known. There will be a kind of awareness that will. And yeah, we're toast. We are toast, but we are party to our own demise. We will willingly become. I've said this for decades. Cyborgized. We will do it ourselves. We're already doing it.
Well, that's the interesting thing about it. I think it's kind of just as there's that we will develop the thing that will probably eventually kill us.
Well, it's Frankenstein.
Yeah, we've done it to everything else. Now, now it's going to turn on ourselves. And then the other thing I thought about is exactly what you just said. Was as he was talking, and he kept saying, the intelligence of the computers or technology, the self-awareness, all of that. He said, as of right now, I can't see robots meaning physical things that can participate in the physical world with us and with that superior intelligence. He said, I don't see that keeping pace with the artificial intelligence.
Right.
So, there will be computers and things that can think way ahead, but the machines physically may not keep up with that. And my immediately thought went to exactly what you just said, cyborgs.
Yeah.
Well, great. So these machines will be so smart, but they won't have a physical presence, so they'll just take our bodies over.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay,
Google's
listen,
developing contact lenses.
I absolutely agree with you, but before people start thinking I've lost my mind, you got to get out of here.
Okay, but listen, Michael Vick did unspeakable. That's why I call it did unspeakable things to those animals.
Yes.
Unspeakable.
Yes.
And that's why everybody says, "Oh, it was just dogfighting." It was worse.
No, it was worse because they would kill these dogs in horrible ways. You are absolutely right.
I don't.
But
I don't hold him. I forgive him. I don't forgive the Pittsburgh Steelers organization.
Okay, whatever.
Well,
whatever. All right. Goodbye. It's okay. Goodbye. We'll take the alleged rapist, but we won't take the convicted dog abuser. Hey, I forgot to tell you, there's an arts and crafts festival on Walnut Street this weekend. I just heard about it myself, I swear. Shadyside Arts Festival this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, starting at 10 a.m. You don't have to pay a penny. You just go and marvel at all the beautiful crafts and artwork, and maybe purchase some and bump into people you didn't know or do know, and pet a dog or two. You can have a good time. It's supposed to be a nice weekend. So, excuse me while I choke to death. Jeez. Shadyside Arts Festival, ladies and gentlemen, go! Jeez. God. All right. So, where were we? Oh, I wanted to read just the last paragraph of one of the emails I got. I must say, as much as I love you and your show, today's show really angered and annoyed me. I kept hoping someone would call in and tell you of Vic's sadistic behavior. She sent me an article with all this stuff that had happened with those dogs. If I believed in hell, I would wish that Vic and his cohorts would be consigned there and forced to suffer all the tortures inflicted on those defenseless animals for all eternity. And that's from Catherine. Okay, but again, I should let it stand, but just for perspective's sake, if you consign someone who did what Vic did to that kind of the worst torture you can think of, then what do you do with Pol Pot? What do you do with Hitler and all his minions? What do you do with the people who tortured, abused, and terrorized children and human beings? I don't like this speciesism where we put ourselves above everybody, although the Bible apparently says we do have dominion. But a human being, as Clarence was saying, crimes against a human being do rise to a higher level, I think. And at what point, when someone has, well, the Post-Gazette does an editorial on this today, and they did say this. They're sort of marveling at the fact that some people simply cannot forgive him. And they said, for these people, prison, ignominy, shame, and the interruption of a multi-million-dollar career are not enough. They believe his punishment should include everlasting contempt. You're saying, the emailer, not contempt. That's letting them off too easy. Everlasting torture, like he inflicted on those defenseless animals. But then the Post-Gazette editorial board says, but, that's not how America works. We believe in second chances. And since his release from jail, he has married, he has 2 children, he has worked with the Humane Society to stop animal cruelty, and he has struggled to recover his professional life. He wanted to get a dog for his 2 kids and had to jump through unimaginable hoops to do so. And a lot of the people who hate him said there's no way he should be allowed to have a dog. Here's a guy who was trying to teach his children how to have a dog and how to treat a dog. At what point do you not forgive? Everything I've seen him say about what he did, I believe he is totally, sincerely contrite. I believe he looks back at what he did with horror now, having been taught differently. And at what point do you move on? He can't undo what he did. He paid for it big time. Aren't there bigger fish to fry in your need to be outraged by bad behavior? I'm just saying. I don't know. So, Margie has now written in, what was she doing naked yesterday? Cleaning her car?
Grill.
What?
Grill.
Cleaning her grill. She now says, day 2 of nakedness, cutting the grass this afternoon. Margie? Anyone know where Margie lives? Well, what the heck? Go for it. So this other thing I wanted to talk about is the Pope. Did you see I don't know how to pronounce this name of the place in Bosnia that's the shrine where Mary appeared, supposedly. Medjugorje. 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 I don't know. I don't have a clue how to pronounce Bosnia Herzegovina. You get a pronunciation there? Anyway, this is this place that something like 35 years ago, 6 kids ranging in age from, 10 to 17, saw the Virgin Mary. And do they give you a... Oh, you're going to... Okay. They saw the Virgin Mary, so they say. And this place where she appeared to them, she now supposedly continues to appear to them, almost on the dot. The New York Times writes, at exactly 6:40 p.m., one day this month, the peal of church bells rang through the main square of this small town, bringing countless pilgrims instantly to their knees. Now, that is the church rings marking the exact moment when the Virgin appeared to these kids. Now, how do you pronounce it? Medjugorje. Okay. Medjugorje. Okay. And so what ended up happening is that this little town, this poor little village, became a magnet for Catholic pilgrims wanting to be where the Virgin Mary appears, at Medjugorje. And so this little town went from being a nothing to being a big something. Those were 6 kids 34, 35 years ago, and 3 of them now, obviously in their 40s and early 50s, still say that the Virgin appears to them almost on a daily basis. One of them has even promised that she could sort of conjure up the Virgin during a public appearance. Has said, oh, yes, I will appear there, and I can promise that the Virgin will appear with me. Hello. So anyway, the Vatican, looks askance on some of this kind of stuff, but this one, Medjugorje, has become so huge that Pope Benedict put a commission in place to look in to these claims to determine whether, once and for all, the Virgin Mary really did show up on a daily basis. That report, years in the making, apparently was done a year and a half ago, but the Vatican has been sitting on it. People think they're sitting on it because the commission probably has decided that they don't really think the Virgin Mary is appearing. And the Pope at, when did he say this thing? He said something pretty outrageous. The Pope joked recently during a morning homily. He all of a sudden said something about, quote, visionaries who can tell us exactly what message Our Lady will be sending at 4 o'clock this afternoon. That's the Pope. Everybody quickly understood he was talking, no doubt, about Medjugorje. So he, the Pope, this popular Pope, is saying, I think, he thinks it's a bunch of hooey. He probably knows that that's what the report says. But we have a problem here because, as I said, the visions have transformed this poor little town into a place with hotels, huge souvenir shops. I mean, this is now, as I said, it's a destination, and people are getting rich off of this. And listen to what someone there said about this waiting nervously for the Vatican's verdict. Whatever the verdict turns out to be, this wait is affecting the season. From the point of view of the pilgrimage supply chain, it's been a catastrophe. The point of view of the pilgrimage supply chain? The season? But millions of people believe this. People have said they've been cured. They have miraculous healings, blah, blah, blah. And so it'll be very hard for the Vatican to take on this belief in something not true. I didn't have to have a commission to tell you that. Not true. And whatever. I have talked to people who have been there, who went. And they spoke in hushed tones about the holiness of the place and how they felt. And, those of us with little faith roll our eyes about stuff like this, where those of you with faith, I don't know. Just say you don't understand. And we don't. What do we got here? PJ. PJ writes, I don't watch nor support the NFL, and I do not accept the alleged rapist. For that which befalls the sons of men befalls beasts. The same thing befalls them as the one dies, so does the other. Yea, they all are one breath, so that a man has no advantage over a beast for all his vanity. All right, I think. Okay. So anyway, stay tuned for more on Medjugorje. Because we have an industry there now, and the Vatican is going to put people out of work, squash it, quash it, and destroy this town. What's the Vatican to do? It's a tough one. There's a tough one. What? Shady Side. The Arts Festival. That's what you're telling me.
What?
I haven't even mentioned the Shady Side Arts Festival today.
What festival?
What festival? Shady Side. You didn't know about it? No, it's Walnut Street. You know Walnut Street. Why? You work right off of it at Eden. She has another gig. Slinging vegan stuff. Hitler could have eaten at your restaurant. All right, okay, okay. I'm sorry, that was below the belt and not good. So anyway, a guy named Howard Allen, he's got this thing, and he produces these really high-end arts and crafts festivals all over the country coming here this weekend. Walnut Street, Shady Side, be there, be square, 10 a.m. both mornings, Saturday and Sunday, and going all the way till 7 p.m. on Saturday and 5 on Sunday. And as I've said, man, you can just get a bunch of stuff that you love, and then put it away in a drawer, and there's your Christmas shopping done, or birthday presents and stuff like that. I don't know why more people don't do that. Anyway, just had to tell you that. Yeah. I could say something else really incendiary. I don't think I should.
Are you on a roll, Colin?
No, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to say, with the constant, now it's been 24 hours plus, of coverage of the shooting of the news crew in Roanoke. Maybe I shouldn't say it. I'm really blown away by how we've learned how to come together, and there's a set kind of a thing that we all sort of do in these instances. The immediate memorial with teddy bears and balloons. What did that start? It was definitely pre-9/11. We've got a caller. Maybe they'll save me for my incendiary comments. Hello?
Hi, Lynn. It's Beth. I was calling to completely change the topic, if that's okay.
Oh, do it.
Okay. Well, as you may know, tomorrow is the 10th year anniversary of Katrina.
Yeah.
And I'm still in New Orleans. And the exciting part is President Obama is going to be through the area today, and actually will be stopping at the building right next to where I am. So I'm hoping to get a peek.
That'd be nice.
And get to see him. But the stunning one I heard was that George W. Bush
is coming.
Is also having the audacity to come here to commemorate the 10-year anniversary.
Oh, gee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. I mean, people here, the strictest of Republicans are completely pissed off and just can't believe that he has the gall to come here.
That was the most extraordinary failure of government I have ever witnessed.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, from the residents here, they don't want to celebrate 10 years. You can see the people who went through it, there's definitely still a kind of a PSD syndrome that goes on.
Oh, I'm sure.
And they just are already enough over it. Let's just be done with it. And they're still, national media-wise and everything are still really honing in on it. And especially with all the visits and everything else.
Yeah, I saw the New York Times had something like 3-4 full pages on it today, and I just skipped over all of them. I can't. It's too painful. I just don't even want to. I don't know. But celebrate it is certainly not something you do. Market is,
right,
I guess, the right word.
Well,
right.
That's exactly it. I mean, like the area where I'm at, it was underwater. Yeah, about 28 feet from what they were saying underwater, and there's still huge sections that just never came back.
Well, and then there's the argument that we know the rising sea levels, it shouldn't even be rebuilt. I'm sorry. I know someone said that, and they were just ripped apart at the time, 10 years ago. But that is absolutely correct. It shouldn't be built. Or built way, way inland. Rebuild it inland.
Right. Well, the sad part is that because housing costs were so inexpensive afterwards, I mean, you have a huge youth movement that came into this area just because of the cheap housing. But there is just something special, I have to say, to the area where I don't think you'll see that. But I remember I was here shortly after it, and I mean, just you still had boats in the middle of streets.
Jeez.
But again, I just had to call and just let you know I couldn't believe.
I can't believe it either. I'm
absolutely
astonished.
And the comment was from a lot of people. You flew over us 10 years ago, and you're coming here now.
Yeah. And you're doing a good heck of a job, Brownie. Remember that one?
Yep. And you had Condoleezza Rice doing her Ferragamo shoes.
Oh God, I remember all of this.
So
yeah,
I'm curious to see. I guess he's just coming in, for 4 hours today. So he'll be in this area, and I guess also in the lower 9th Ward.
But he and Obama are not. They're not going to the same thing. Huh.
No.
Well, that's why would he bother? He doesn't. He's not like an out there former president. So why would he?
He's coming in to draw watercolors. I have no clue.
Okay.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
Oh my God.
And like I said, it really has, for people who are just trying to forget it, it's really brought back a lot of emotion by him coming here.
Yeah. Okay, well, I hope you get a peek of the Prez.
I do too.
It's always exciting.
I do too. I have not had a chance to see President Obama, so I'm hoping to be able to do it.
I hope you do too, Beth. Thank you. Always good to hear from you.
Oh, bye-bye.
Okay, bye. I don't know. Did she save me? I don't know if I can put it in words. I haven't said this to anybody, and I'll get myself in trouble. But just a lot of things. I'm sort of astonished at. I can't do it. Don't.
Just don't.
Don't do it.
Don't waffle.
Don't waffle. Just do it. Jump in. I'm not sure what I want to say because it's just this feeling I have where I'm confused. Is it confused? I'm puzzled, befuddled, and have trouble relating to some of the people that knew these now deceased young journalists who I just am always in this state where they're so quick to get on TV and talk so dispassionately. I don't understand. So here's where I like to empathize. But if that was my daughter killed, or if that was my boyfriend killed, I could not be on TV talking with absolute even voices and, oh, yes, she was just wonderful and I loved her very much. And I mean, how do they do that? And why should they do that? I heard the father say because she would have wanted me to, because this is what she did. She would be where you are, he says to the person interviewing him. She would want me to do this. I don't know. people are strange to me. And I mean, I know my grief would be my shock. I'd be in a state of shock for like, I don't know how many hours, days, weeks. And her anchorman boyfriend, he's on TV, and he is the most collected person I ever saw talking about his love for her. And I'm just like, what? And then watching the media spin this into two love stories and I find it sickening. I'm sorry, I just find it sickening. I am in no position to question how those people who are directly impacted by this violence, how they comport themselves. So don't mistake my befuddlement with, saying they shouldn't do it. I just don't understand it. Caller, hello.
Hello.
Hi. Caller, hi.
Hi.
You got anything?
Charles Schultz said, happiness is a warm puppy, not a warm robot.
You're right. Good call. Thank you. Happy?
Rough.
Yeah, that's it. But God help us. No one will even know who Charles Schultz is by the time they're, taking robots into their beds. Happiness is a warm puppy. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Nice to hear a new voice. So I guess that's sort of what I wanted to say. I react in horror to the initial violent event. And then maybe about 5, 6, 7, 8 hours later, after nonstop wall-to-wall coverage, I begin to react with horror at this media orchestrated, communal way of mourning and marking it and extolling the virtues of the dead and calling the killer every name in the book. And how this is all supposed to bring us some measure of comfort when in fact the only thing that makes any sense is if we shut the F up and come to terms with our love of guns. And her father, I must say, said that that's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to fight now for some measure of sane gun control. Add him to a long, long list of people who were impacted in this manner, who then make that their life's mission and get us absolutely nowhere. And people a lot more powerful than he. I give you a congresswoman, Gabby Giffords, and she and her astronaut hero husband formed an entity that was supposed to take this on. Where'd that go? Nowhere. So now this guy in Roanoke says, now it's what I have to do. And the anchors ask the same questions. Oh, when will we ever learn? When will we ever, and the politicians are going to come out and say this. And the NRA is going to come out and say that. And we'll all, yeah. But why should I sit and watch this? I can't take it. So I'll leave you with this. Nicholas Kristof. Whether or not the killer yesterday morning was insane, our policies regarding guns in this country are insane. Are insane. Every 6 months, think of this, January to July, so we're in the second half of this, January to July, more Americans die because of guns in this country than have died in the last quarter century. If you add up every terrorist attack and throw in the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq combined. 2 wars, terrorist attacks and victims, and they're equal to the 6 months average, year after year after year after year, of Americans killing other Americans, right here. And look at how we change our lives in response to those terrorist attacks. Look how everything changes. And look, with a much greater toll, how nothing changes. We are insane. Here's some more. Try to get your head around this. More Americans have died from guns in this country from 1968 till now than on the battlefields of every war this country has ever fought. Pile up the dead from the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, Korea, Civil War, blah, 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 World War I, World War II, Afghanistan, Iraq, do it all, pile up those bodies, and you know what? We got a higher pile from just 1968. American children far more likely to die from guns, 14 times more likely, as the nearest country that we can be compared to. So what this is, guys, is actually a public health crisis. You want to know the cause of death of Americans? Well, guns. Duh. And when it comes to public health, look what our government does to protect us. Look at the regulations they make for any kind of thing. I mean, there's regulations for ladders and good God, the toys. Don't tear this mattress tag off. You know, crap like that. There's nothing. Ladders, accidents with ladders take 300 people in America a year. That's what, and yet there is 7 pages of regulations concerning ladders in the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. 7 pages of regulations. So, I don't know what to, here's what he says. I don't know how people can even keep. And gun proponents often say things like, well, what about cars? They kill people too, but we don't ban cars. And Christoph says, yeah, cars are actually the best example of the public health approach that we should apply. Because over the decades, we have systematically taken steps to make cars safer. We adopted seatbelts. We adopted airbags. We limited licenses for teenage drivers. We cracked down on drunken drivers, established roundabouts, better crosswalks, auto safety inspections, and rules about texting, yada, yada, yada. And this approach has been stunningly successful. We've reduced the fatality rate by cars in this country since cars came on the scene by more than 95%. Imagine doing the same with guns. If someone steals your iPhone, they can't use it if they don't have the PIN. If someone steals your gun, no problem. Although the technology totally exists to have a smart gun that would not be of use to anybody but the registered owner. But none of that gets through because, yes, we all know the NRA and the craven politicians who do their bidding. He goes on to talk about the passive horror that we are stuck in. We just watch these things happen, and we don't do anything. I don't know. One more time, I got to tell you guys about the Shades Hat Arts Festival because you have to go this weekend if you want. It's not compulsory. It's only because you'll have a good time, and you'll find lots of great things. Saturday and Sunday on Walnut Street in Shadyside. Lots of fun, lots of good food, lots of people, lots of arts, lots of crafts. So go, if you want. And that's it for me. I'll see you tomorrow, I hope. Bye.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.